so often the answer is no, thank you, or just no, or just silence. So when it was a yes, I was sort of, I kind of couldn't believe it for a while.
You're a Tony winner, and the role of Cassio is a smaller role. What made you want to take this on and be in this production?
When I first was approached about this, I have to admit that my ego sort of took over and was like, oh, Cassio's not that big of a role. But then I reread the play. Of course, the people who were attached was like, you would be really dumb not to be in the room with these giants and these geniuses. And then I read the play, and Cassio is, for better or for worse, obsessed with how he is thought of. And he has this great aria about his reputation. Now more than ever, where so much of our life is online or in the public arena, I think it speaks to an experience today that I was really interested in sort of mining and feeling like what this means to a modern audience. So once I felt that, I was like, oh, there's plenty of meat here for me to chew on.
And what's the most difficult or challenging part of the role?
The vests that we have to wear, they're very heavy. And there are so many stairs in the Barrymore. So you're going up and down stairs, constantly running. I am one that kind of waits till the last minute to run to places. So I am constantly running around with a big weighted vest trying to make my entrance on time.
Why are they so heavy?
Well, they're stuffed with, they make them look very, very real, and they're filled with stuff that they should be filled with. So it's just like you put it on and it's like wearing a 10-pound vest running up and down stairs all day.
So you're in this with Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal, who
Yes.
are obviously two massive stars. What is it like in rehearsal and preparing for a show that has big A-listers in it in comparison to shows that, doesn't have people of like that quality?
Really, the only difference is, well, they have such stardust to them. Really, that first day, it was just like, whoa, I can't believe we're all in the same room. But then immediately it just becomes about the work, and they're two great actors. And so I think part of the reason they're so great is that they know that it's about the project that they're doing and the work that they have before them. So yeah, there's definitely the big differences, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Denzel is looking at me and saying lines to me and I get to speak lines back. But then after that, that sort of wears off and you make it about the work.
Has that like ever sort of struck you like in the middle of a performance or anything of like, oh wait?
Oh,
shit.
absolutely. Every time I hear Denzel, when I'm in my dressing room and I hear him on the monitor, sometimes I'll have this, I can't believe I'm in a play listening to Denzel Washington speak these words. Yeah.
Do you have any funny sort of behind the scenes stories with either of them?
Denzel and I like to share jokes with each other. Mine probably aren't as funny as his. He has a lifetime of funny jokes. So we'll trade a joke or two backstage, and we once got yelled at by the creative team because we were a little too loud laughing at jokes while they were trying to rehearse a scene. And then with Jake, Jake is just such a down-to-earth guy and so sweet that, and sometimes we'll play little pranks on each other when we can, but.
To switch gears into Snow White a bit, I imagine that the audition process was quite daunting. What was it like going through that?
It's so funny. It actually wasn't daunting at all because I thought there is not a chance I'm going to get this. I woke up, I got this audition notice, and I was like, okay, this is a lottery ticket. Absolutely not. I think I did 2 takes. I rolled out of bed, I didn't even shower. I had like bed head. A couple weeks later, I got an email from my manager saying, hey, you have a call back with Mark. And I was like, you're joking. She's like, no, they really liked it. And then they just kind of kept saying yes. And then when I got the part, it sort of all came, it just hit me. I was outside, about to play a round of Frisbee golf with my brother. I know it's lame, but I love it. And I sat on the ground because I just never thought it would happen.
The kiss in Snow White, I feel like is one of the most like iconic kisses in cinema history, which you're tasked with doing. What was shooting that like how many takes did you have to do?
Oh gosh, I don't even remember. We very much wanted to give the love story its weight because it's a very important part of Snow White. All I can remember about those days was it was so hot in the studio. It was at Pinewood Studios, and I don't think that part had air conditioning. So like, we were all just sweating buckets, and makeup had to come and help every time. But it was very, very sweet, and I think everybody did a really great job.
Okay, so I have written short synopsises of either a Shakespeare play or a Disney movie.
Oh, this is going to be difficult because there's some overlap.
Yes, and I also tried to make them slightly tricky, so I didn't pick anything too obvious. A magician and his daughter are stranded on a desert island with a fairy.
Oh.
Yes, that's the Tempest.
Tempest, oh yes! Wait, who's the fairy?
Ariel?
Okay, all right.
A young woman must complete a list of tasks in order to get married.
Wow, these are so succinct. I'm gonna go.
No, that is All's Well That Ends Well.
Of course it is.
An evil prince raises taxes, causing an uprising of peasants, thieves, and clergy. That is Robin.
Yes.
Correct. An evil advisor tries to steal the throne, but is thwarted by a poor thief and the princess he's in love with. That is Aladdin.
Yes.
Correct.
Wow, that is a crazy way to describe Aladdin.
A king exiles his own daughter to grow up in the countryside where she falls in love with the king's friend's son. That is The Winter's Tale.
Correct.
A woman disguises herself as a soldier and ends up falling in love with another soldier who doesn't realize she is a woman. No, that is Mulan.
But it could also be Twelfth Night.
Yes, it could be. And then a king is murdered by his brother only to have his son avenge his death. That is both, yes.
Yes.
And it's Lion King / Hamlet.
I knew it.